In today's review, we're checking out the brand new Ooni Volt 2. Thanks to Ooni, I got early access to the Volt 2, but this video will contain my honest thoughts and opinions. So far, I've tested New York, Detroit, and Neapolitan style pizzas, and I'll be using those to give you my very first impressions. I've run about 14 pizzas through this thing, so I've got a pretty good idea of what I like and what I don't like. First, let's talk about presets. It has a preset for Neapolitan, thin and crispy, pan pizza, dough proofing, oven mode, broil grill, and 2 customizable presets. This is your temp control. This is your crisping intensity control. This gives you 5 levels of adjustment on the top burner. And this button is a timer. For my very first test, I made New York style, but more of a Western New York style. That's a little thicker dough than typical New York. And I'm using the thin and crispy preset, which defaults to 660 degrees Fahrenheit. This is King Arthur bread flour, 60% hydration, 3% salt, 3% sugar, with a 20-hour room temp proof. I made like 6 of these and they were all great. This thin and crispy preset is extremely dialed. After my first pizza, I knew no changes were needed. I averaged 5.5 minutes per bake on these. I did notice after I put the pizza in, the temp dropped significantly, but recovery times weren't too bad. I'd pull a pizza, cut it, make another one, and we were back in business. Here's a tip for cleaning in between rounds if you don't like that bitter, burnt flour taste. I take a warm, slightly damp cloth and do a wipe if I see it getting bad. Not a wet cloth, just really, really damp with hot water. I've done this with 900+ degree ovens with no problem. For my second test, we're making what is honestly becoming one of my favorite pizzas and probably the easiest pizza to make, Detroit style. Easier for me because this is my wife's sourdough focaccia dough and I don't have to make it. So guys, I don't have to tell you this because you would never know, but I put these pans in the fridge and life happened and it's now a full week later, but this dough still looks good, so we're gonna send it. If you're a beginner, aside from making the dough, this is the easiest pizza to make. I'm making these in Lloyd pans, and for these I par bake the dough. I'm using the pan pizza setting. The default is 530, but I'm increasing that to 560. I usually go 8 minutes, but I did 10 minutes here, and I would normally like some color on the top, so next time I'm going to adjust the crisping intensity. I just didn't make enough of these to get it dialed the way I like it. After the par bake, I add the toppings with the sauce going on last. You can see here again, the temp drops pretty drastically while we're baking. Between bakes on these, I had a recovery time of about 6.5 minutes. These came out awesome. Perfect crispy edges, great underneath. I will say I don't see much of an advantage in cooking Detroit style in an oven like this, as your home oven will do just as good a job because you do make these at a lower temp. But it's nice to know you can do it. If you're wondering how loud it is, mine is roughly 60 decibels right at the oven. Now I say mine because I've seen other videos where it didn't seem as loud as mine, but I don't know if they're using noise reduction in their mics. If you've got one, let me know if yours is quieter. For my final test, Neapolitan style. The default Neapolitan setting is 810 degrees Fahrenheit, but there is a boost setting to supercharge the top element temporarily. That setting is only available on the Neapolitan setting. I made this dough using Caputo 00 flour, 60% hydration, and 3% salt. The boost setting works by pressing in the control knob for 3 seconds, and then the boost indicator light will flash for 30 seconds. When it turns solid green, it's ready. My first pizza came out okay, but the bottom was a little overdone. I messed with all the settings and I couldn't quite nail a perfect Neapolitan in 5 attempts, but every pizza was very good. And just when I was about to get it dialed, I botched a launch and ended up making a calzone pizza bread abomination. That was actually quite good. I have no doubt I'll figure it out, but I'm more than pleased with the thin and crispy setting on this oven, as that is my absolute favorite style of pizza and the one I make most. For cleanup, I just ran this for a few minutes on high, and the next day I scraped up all the burnt bits. I would absolutely recommend cleaning this glass after every use because the longer you let it go, the harder it's going to be to clean. I'm using some ash from my fireplace to help. If you're in the market for an indoor pizza oven, I do recommend this one. I'll leave a link in the comments and description. God bless, and we'll see you on the next one.